Darling, you send me, I know you send me, darling, you send me, I know.
Architecture is an ever-changing topic in South Australia, and we are always trying to improve our infrastructure to keep up with other states and make our city appear as good as possible. But how are Adelaide's building projects really catering for the future?
So architecture for me, architecture and design is really the creation of environments that service different functions.
The middle school was in Nichols Wing, and when I was in there, it was still very much a Victorian classroom block. Timber floors, small desks in rows facing a big blackboard.
Australia holds the second largest amount of heritage listed buildings in the world, and 27% of the buildings in Australia are heritage listed.
Contemporary teaching is really very different. I mean, we don't sit in rows in classrooms anymore. All teachers have different teaching styles, and that varies with each teacher and probably with each faculty. And students learn in different ways too, and so the ability to design the classroom layout individually for each teacher makes a big difference to the way the students learn. I think the openness of the rooms, the lightness and probably the airiness are significantly better than the old building too.
Over the past few years in Adelaide, our building projects have been changing dramatically, from older styles to newer and more modern designs.
There's a series of scholars in the field of architecture who really believed that modernism and modern architecture's role was to be more concerned with function, and they believed that function was the driver of form. So the buildings that they created really looked at bringing the building to its purest form.
It's not just about learning environment here, it's also about all the technology changes that have happened since those days. It's all of the kind of new ways of thinking about what buildings can do in terms of how buildings can perhaps not just be a barrier and it's all internal, so you walk in a door, you move into it, and you are very structured in how you use the building.
With people living longer, we are seeing an increased amount of people moving into nursing homes. And today's nursing homes are coming up with some clever ways to deal with the struggles this presents.
As part of our dementia way, finding the building is split into 3 levels: city, beach and hills. And as you go through the building, all the floors are actually themed both in colour and objects that actually give you that feel. So
again, pick up an island, the layer house, symbol of the leaf, which is on there. And then we've created what we call memory wayfinding. And you'll see when we go inside that this theme is on the wall there, so that's also, they're all different, as in
they're unique to each house.
Each house. So this is your home. You get out that lift and you wanted to travel down to level 1 or ground floor cafe, you will find your way back up without your name on the door somewhere, because this is all about what you remember. Okay, so these units were built in Hickory in Melbourne and transported over, built in the factory, dropped on the site and built around, the building was built around the pods, they call them pods. They're all the same except different colour schemes. If you look in here, you'll see this basin is designed for dementias. There's not one facility in South Australia that has this type of basin. Again, not that you're going to get your hands scalded, but poor vision, big tabs on the tap handle.
I think, firstly, that the apartment development has some public spaces, recreational spaces and communal spaces for the residents. So sometimes that might be a rooftop garden, rooftop veggie patch or something like that. Sometimes you could have a gym or a pool or some recreational facilities. I think having some sort of social or recreational facilities in the apartment building is important.
Say Rollins in this case. Rollins was designed not so much for South Australian people, but the Chinese market. And what attracted the Chinese to buy that apartment is A, it's down a quiet street, it's a dead-end street. 2, the market is across the road, and Chinese love going across the road to the markets and getting fresh veg and putting them up in a wok, and it's just like walk it. So if you look at location, there's one in the city, not necessarily, you know, it's got to be on the main road of King William Street, but in this case it was a boutique. The Rollins had 87 apartments. The Asian market likes small, compact. As long as it's got fresh air, they've got to have a window. There's certain demographics that you got to pitch to. If I take 2 developers I've worked for, one is a Chinese, who was a given that he's done his market research based on a lot of friends he has in Sydney and Melbourne that are pretty wealthy and how they get their stuff up. He used that intel and downgraded to the Adelaide pricing market and took the punt. If I look at the other side, where the true developer in Australia would do, and the company I worked for was even Construct and Multiplex Developments, they actually engage a professional marketing organisation to do analysis of what, depending on the location where we're doing development, or potentially we're going to buy the land, of what is the pool of people that will buy into some sort of project development.
Darling, you